What's going on YouTube? Speedfisherman here for another how-to tutorial. Today we're going to be talking about how to add a stream transition to your live stream. So a screen transition is just a barricade that comes up while you're moving from one of your scenes over to another. A scene transition is a barricade that comes up that allows you to change over those scenes in the background while all your viewers see is that picture. And then once you finally change over to that scene, that barricade goes down and they can see you now in your new scene that you just moved over to. So stick around and check it out. Alright, so once you get here in your Streamlabs OBS, if you come over here to the little gear, so you have your scenes already set up, you come to this gear here, and then you can see I already have some transitions in here already made. But let's go to this one right here. This is just a new transition. So when you hit add new transition, it's going to come up like this. You can name the transition whatever you want to, and then these are the different types of transitions that you can do. So you can do anything from a cut to a fade, swipe, slide, fade to color, luminal wipe, stinger, and motion. So for cut, it's just a simple just cut to it. So let me select the cut here, and this is how you select which transition you want to use, is just selecting the little boxes down here. But we're going to do cut, which we just selected and created. So we hit done, and then when I move over to another scene, so let's say we'll go to the face cam record, it just cuts right over to it. So that one really, I wouldn't say that would be the best one to use. So let's try a different one. Let's go to swipe. So swipe duration is set to 300, and the directions you can go is you can swipe left, swipe right, up or down. So we'll say swipe right, and we'll hit done, and it's already selected. Hit done again, and you see how I just swiped over to the right there. So that's what it is it's just swiping over. That's the scene transition. Now some of you may want to go and have your own scene transitions created. I had mine created on Fiverr. I found somebody up there. He told me, he's like, hey, I'll make 3 for $10. So I mean, I don't mind paying $10 to have a screen transition made, because I'm not a Photoshop like savvy person to where I can sit there and design and make it myself and all that good stuff. So I had mine made, and I thought $10 was pretty reasonable for 3 transitions. So I'll show you how you can actually go in here and you can actually add your own personal transition. So if you come here to the little gear again, you're going to select that gear, and let me go ahead and get rid of these ones here. Alright, we're going to hit add transition. And then you can name it what you want to name it, like, I don't know. Transition for video. I'm just going to name mine whatever. It'll be for this video purpose. And then for your personal ones that you're going to add on your customers, you have to use Stinger. So if you select Stinger, and then this is the video file. So we're going to hit browse. We're going to go to, I'm going to select mine, and I'm going to hit open. Alright, and I'm going to hit done. Now, transition for video, let me select it, hit done, and there it is. There's mine right there. So now, I don't know if you caught that, so let me show you this. Now, if you notice, when I transition over to the other screen, it shows that screen before the transition even kicks in. So if you watch that, see, you just saw me right there, and then the transition kicked in, and then you see me again. A way to fix that, let me swap back over, and then I'll show you how to fix that. Alright, so now that we're back over here, if you click on that gear, and let's go back to the transition. If you hit the pencil right here, you can edit it. So your transition point is what you need to change. So if you have some made or you created some yourself, and if you're transitioning over to the other scene and you're seeing that scene before it actually pops up with the transition, you need to change the transition point. So I'm gonna change mine up to, so if you want, you can start from like a low number. I would say try around 500 and see if that does, and then work your way up. For my transitions, I already know that mine is 1,000, so I'm gonna set my transition point to 1,000. And for me, it's just for the audio fade style. It's really up to you, but the fade style, so for the fade out to transition point, then fade in, it fades out your voice and then it fades it back in once you change over. For me, I just like to have mine at crossfade because I don't want my voice to change, because I may be talking to chat while I'm transitioning into a scene and I want my voice to stay the same, and I don't want it to drop down while I'm trying to, explain a certain detail to chat, and then, it fade back in. So I put mine at crossfade, which keeps my voice the same throughout the whole transition and stuff. And you don't have to talk during your transitions if you don't want. But if you're talking to chat, then, you want to be able to keep that same tone of voice and not, fade down to where they can barely hear you, and then you fade back in how you're supposed to be. But anyway, we're getting too far into that. So we're going to hit done. I'm going to hit done again. I changed mine to 1,000. And now when I change over, the transition goes first, and then it comes up with the scene. So delay is it delays your scene from going to the next. It allows that transition to pop up first, and then it fades it back out. So I'm going to swap back over, and then we're going to talk about how to set up for going from scene to scene if you have multiple transitions like I do. I have 3 that I normally use. I have mine set up to where when I go from one scene to another, there's a particular transition that I use, and then from another scene to another, there's another particular transition that I use. So I'll explain that too. Alright, so if we go back to our gear right here, and I can get rid of that one that I just done, so let me hit delete. Up here at the top, you're going to see where it says connections. So click on connections, and then these are the connections that I have. So for me, I have, the way to do it is if you hit add connection. So what you're going to select is you're going to want to select your beginning scene. So whatever scene that you're on. So if you want to start out first, do your starting scene. And then when you select the transition that you want to have. Now keep in mind, the only transitions you're going to see here is the ones that you've already added. So you need to set those up first in here. Go ahead and add all your transitions in here first before going to connections. So we're going to go back over to connections. So this is my starting scene, the scene that I'm on. And then I'm going to add whatever transition I want to use. And then when I move to a particular scene, it'll put that transition up there. And then same thing for if you were doing a different scene. If I'm already on my live with camera PC scene and I swap over to my be right back scene, I can go in here and change this to be my close in scene, transition that I have, which is the one that y'all saw a while ago where it closes in and then it comes back out. And then you would just hit done, and that would add it in here. So what this is telling me here is the connections are already being used by another one up here that I've already created. So you don't have to worry about, well, did I make one for this already? If you already have one a connection made up here already, it'll give you this icon saying, hey, you're already using this. So all I have to do is hit delete. And that's how you do the connections. It took me a little bit to find this. I looked on YouTube and I couldn't really find the connections of how to do this part here on YouTube. So I just went around in here and messed in the transition because I figured, I was like, it's got to be here in transition somewhere. And then I stumbled across connections and I was like, well, let me mess around with this. And then of course that's exactly what it was. So now when I move from, now keep in mind, if you have an intro on your live stream that you like to do, like for me, I have my starting soon, and then I do my intro video, and then it moves to my whatever I'm going to be, streaming on for the day, whether it be my console or a PC. Now keep in mind with the transitions, if you have an intro with the music where that intro starts right away, then you're probably not going to want your transition scene to be there, because if you have one of the delayed transitions to where it takes 3 to 5 seconds for that transition to to do its full transition, and your intro video is only like maybe 10 seconds long, or the one like you use for YouTube, and you just put it in your stream, then your intro is going to be halfway done before people even see it. So that's why when you see in my transitions, I have the swipe one here. And over in my connections for my intro to, my starting soon to my intro, the transition is the new transition, which is this one here, my swipe. That way it just swipes over and bam, you can see my intro right away. Now once my intro is done and I want to move away from my intro, then that doesn't matter. So that's when I have my intro to my live PC. And then that don't matter. I still need to make one for my intro to my Xbox Live or my console, whichever console I'm going to be on. And then I'll have a one set up for all of them. But if you have any questions, put them down in the comments. I'll try to answer them to the best of my ability. Also, I stream on Fridays and Saturday nights. Normally I get up there around 7 or 8 p.m. I'll leave the description to my Twitch channel down below. If you would, please go and follow me and help me reach that 50 followers. I'd really appreciate it. And then whenever you see me pop live on Twitch, hop in there and chat with me. We might run a few games or something, or talk about other tutorials that I might need to do a video on to help you out with, or I'll try to explain something, a tutorial in chat to you to see if answer some questions that way too. But until next time, much love.